Hi, today we will talk about the I²S setting of the DDC and the Terminator DSC. What I have here is the sound-aware D1 audiophile computer connected to this Hermes Dvc from DENAFRIPS using DAC, and the I²S output of the DDC goes to the I²S A input of the Terminator Plus. So I²S do not have industrial standard. DENAFRIPS come up with this I²S configuration so that you can configure the pinout to match with the source correctly, so that you have the left-right channel play correctly, as well as the in phase and out of phase play correctly. So currently I'm using Roon. Roon is this is my Roon remote, and the Roon core is residing in this audiophile computer right here. So I use Tidal audio tone test utility to help me, where as you can hear, I have a loop playback of this left-right channel test soundtrack, and it is playing correctly because I have configured the I²S of the Hermes Dvc and the Terminator Plus to match with each other. Before I go into the configuration of the two devices, let me show you the back. These are the Messi cable. Right. So we have the USB connected from the sound-aware computer, audiophile computer, to the Hermes DDC USB input, and from the Hermes DDC we have this blue HDMI cable connected to the Terminator Plus I²S A input. You'll notice the two clock output cable is connected from the Terminator Plus to the Hermes DDC as well. So we'll talk about the clock sync later as well. And to configure the I²S input, press on the mute button once. So once the DAC is muted, there's no sound output, right? Because it is in mute. Press on the face button multiple times. You'll notice 1x, 2x, and 4x LED light up in a fixed pattern. It is essentially binary form of 000 to 111. 000 is the correct setting for the Hermes DDC and the Terminator Plus. So with this setting 000, the left-right channel will be played correctly. Currently I'm streaming PCM 44.1 from the Hermes DVC, as you can see here, 44.1K LED light up, to the Terminator Plus DAC. So 44.1K light up and the 1X LED light up. So this tells us that the PCM is playing correctly from the Hermes DDC to the Terminator Plus. I will usually use Roon to upsample to DSD. This is because we are using the Hermes DVC to playback to the DAC using I²S, and at times we have different sampling rate format in our playlist, whereby it comprises of PCM and DSD. We have to be sure that the I²S setting is correct in order to be able to play back both PCM and DSD. So I will configure the Roon to upsample to convert the sampling rate to DSD 64. Let me see. Alright, 64. And this signal path here says that 44.1K 16-bit 2-channel is being converted to DSD 64. Okay, let's look at the display of the Hermes DDC. So you notice 44.1 is essentially 64, and DSD LED light up. This tells us that let me see, the focus of this guy is not so good. Okay, DSD light up, it tells us that it is playing DSD 64, and the Terminator Plus DSD LED light up as well, with 1x on. it is telling us that it is playing DSD 64. So as you can hear, the left-right channel is playing correctly as well. So if you have the I²S configuration wrong, it may sound distorted or just noise. Let me demonstrate to you. Okay, this is bad, right? Bad. And bad again. So we have to set the I²S setting to 000 in order for the Hermes DDC and the Terminator Plus DSC to handshake using the I²S input. Okay, so this address the I²S configuration of the two devices. And let us talk about the clock synchronization. Hermes DDC comes with two clock input at 45 kHz. 45 MHz and 49 MHz. It can be connected to the Terminator Plus to synchronize the clock of the Terminator Plus to the Hermes DDC. So you notice the clock. Hang on a second. I'm trying to zoom in. Okay. You notice the clock LED is light up here. It means that the external clock input of the Hermes DDC is enabled. So it is expecting the Terminator Plus to output the clock frequency of 45 MHz and 49 MHz to the external clock input of the Hermes DDC. So if you have the clock configuration of the Terminator Plus set up correctly, you have the music playback like what I'm here now. But if the clock frequency was set up wrongly, there will be no music, because essentially Hermes DDC is expecting the correct clock frequency at the external clock input connector. So to set up the clock output frequency of the Terminator Plus, press on the mute button and the music is muted, and press on the input minus button. As you can see, there are a few LED will light up on and off as you press the input minus button. So there are 5 configurations. When this is on, clock out is off. It means that it disables the clock output of the Terminator Plus. So to synchronize the clock of the Terminator Plus and the DENAFRIPS DVC, be it the Hermes or the I²S of the Gaia DDC, leave the clock LED on at OPT. So at this configuration, the Terminator Plus send 45 MHz and 49 MHz to the Hermes DDC. And to configure to enable or disable the clock input of this Hermes DDC or the Gaia DDC, so press on the setup button and toggle the optical button. As you toggle this, you notice the clock LED on and off. Clock LED on means it is expecting external clock input. Clock LED off means you would like to use the internal clock. So leave the clock LED on and press the setup button once to confirm the setting, and choose the correct input as we were playing USB just now. Alright, so we have the music playing for both PCM and DSD from the Hermes DDC to the Terminator Plus DSC. Hope this helped.